can deal with, because bored means I'm not paying enough attention to what's really here. And I'm demanding what's really here to be something that it isn't currently. So it's like I look around and I'm bored with what I see. Well, part of the way you get bored is when you look around and you're bored with what you see, is you're not actually allowing yourself to see it, which is why we talked to you about the whole being in the moment thing more deeply. Because you look around your life and you don't like what you see. Part of the reason you don't like it is because you're not actually interacting with the wholeness that's there. You're just interacting with the slice that you've allowed yourself to have action with in the past. It's kind of a big subject, but what we see everybody doing is, and this is a survival instinct thing, and it's a tool that's helped, but you guys have all ran around with the blinders on, more and more and more. And the reason you've run around with the blinders on is to survive. You've narrowed your field of input down to the things you absolutely have to interact with to stay alive, for the most part. And then every once in a while you get a few extra little things out there to make life exciting and fun. When your spiritual journey comes along, we tell you we're going to evolve the survival instinct, and you start looking around everywhere and trying to decide, you know, what's really out here that I've been not looking at or ignoring, not wanting to see. And as you look around and you see what's really out there, that's what we've been trying to help you see. What's really out there isn't as boring. And what's really out there isn't as much of, I don't want to participate. Part of the reason you don't want to participate in society is because you're done participating in society the way you have been. And it's up to you to say, what about the world is still interesting to me? Now we know what you'd like to experience, but we're asking you, what about the world is interesting to you? Because the world is actually where you're interacting, not in the realms of the extrasensory space that we know you'd love to be in, but right now you're not there. So if you're not there, it's not time for that for you yet. And the bridge between the two really is your ability to embrace what is actually here. The doorway to everything is the moment. And if you're not experiencing the moment deeply, it's really difficult to go through the doorway. So it's spiritual discipline, and it's requiring of yourself. Once a day, here's a little bit of homework. Once a day, require of yourself. Require that you go outside or look out the window and you take in a vista that you're familiar with, and require yourself to notice something about it that you haven't noticed before. So you look outside the window and you think, I've seen that tree, I've seen that grass, I've seen that, maybe a bird flies by. Cool, I got mine out of the way for the day. Or maybe a squirrel runs by. And maybe nothing happens, but you have to continue to require of yourself that you notice something more. And what would be very interesting is if you did a week with the exact same view. Look out the same window at the same time every day and demand of yourself, I know there's more here. Because part of your ability to access extrasensory perception is demanding of your system to see the more that's there. And until you demand that of yourself, you won't have the practice of allowing new things in to be able to move into those extrasensory places. Now, you can also do this, other than just in that kind of very rigid way, you can also do this by, when you're brushing your teeth or making some food or watching TV or sitting on the couch. You can demand of yourself that you notice something you didn't notice before. And the things that you guys notice are things like, oh, spider webs, oh, dust, oh, I haven't vacuumed, right? And then you feel bad that you noticed something new. So, don't do that to yourselves. But look around and demand of yourself that you notice something you didn't notice before. And then allow yourself to have a relationship with the new thing you've seen, and not a judgmental relationship. That starts to expand your ability to appreciate and know what's really going on, and that brings in and opens the doorways to other perceptional ways of being. Yeah? Fun stuff. It can be really fun. Because how many times have you just walked outside and you've actually gone, wow, that tree's gotten tall, or wow, that weed sure has grown. I need to go and mow the lawn. Or the fun thing this time of year is you go out into the garden and you're like, wow, that got really big really fast. And that's where you actually do it for fun. But because that's also a goal-oriented activity, you're trying to get that food to grow, it's kind of like, wow, that really grew, good, now I have food. It's not just for the pure pleasure of noticing more. And the pure pleasure of infusing the knowing more into your moment.